Archangel Michael says, "A door in heaven just opened with your name on it. You have 2 minutes left to walk through. Open immediately." In this very moment, as the clock turns and the earth exhales, something ancient and divine stirs in the unseen realms. The air around you thickens, time itself bends, and heaven shifts its gaze toward you. This is not an ordinary moment. It is a divine intersection, a celestial hour where eternity leans close to time. The heavens tremble, the angelic armies stand at attention, and a radiant door appears in the spirit, etched not with human words but with your heavenly name. You may not see it with mortal eyes, but your soul feels it, an invisible pulse, a pull from beyond the veil calling you higher. Archangel Michael speaks now, his voice like fire and thunder, echoing through realms. "A door in heaven has opened," he declares, "and upon it is written your name." The inscription glows with light, shimmering with the essence of your purpose. It is not a general door. It is your door, ordained before you were even formed in the womb. Heaven has opened it because the time appointed for your rising has come. But listen carefully, child of light. The opening is not eternal. The angel's voice carries urgency. You have 2 minutes to walk through. Open immediately. 2 minutes, not of earthly time but divine timing, moments where obedience determines inheritance and hesitation risks delay. The spiritual atmosphere now quivers. Even as you read these words, the realm of spirit shifts. You may feel your heart racing, your breath deepening, the sensation of divine electricity in the air. That is not imagination. It is heaven's confirmation. A portal stands open before you, and it awaits movement. Not the movement of your body, but of your spirit. The door recognizes your frequency, the vibration of your faith, the sound of your surrender. Stillness is your key. Listening is your weapon. Immediate obedience is your access. Archangel Michael watches at this threshold. He stands armed, radiant, commanding the legions of heaven. The sword in his hand gleams with the light of divine justice, and his eyes pierce through every shadow that dares resist your advancement. But know this truth: heaven will not hold the door open forever. Delay is costly in this hour. Hesitation equals spiritual postponement. Readiness equals divine promotion. Those who pause in fear will watch opportunity pass, but those who move in faith will inherit the opening prepared from the foundation of time. The sound you hear in your spirit right now, the quiet trembling, the urgency that makes your heart stir, is the summons of heaven. The atmosphere around you carries prophetic weight. This is the hour of shifting, the moment of unveiling, the divine test of response. You are being called to listen, to still your inner noise, and to answer the heavenly summons without delay. Heaven is counting your seconds. The door stands open, and Michael waits for your yes. Type "I am ready" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1444 is now activated around you. He stands now at the threshold, Archangel Michael, heaven's commander, heaven's voice, heaven's fire. Cloaked in the radiance of divine authority, his sword drawn, his wings stretched wide across the veil that separates time from eternity. His presence alone shatters delay and rebukes every dark force that dares resist the will of God. He has not come to whisper. He has not come to soothe. He has come to announce, to command, to summon. The door has opened, and heaven has placed your name upon it. This is no illusion. This is not symbolic. It is literal in the spirit. Heaven is in motion. A 2-minute countdown is unfolding even now in the unseen realm. A divine portal has been opened by command, not by request, not by chance, but by divine appointment. A spiritual shift is occurring. This shift is real, and it is violent against everything that tried to keep you small. The heavenly realm is in acceleration, and those who hesitate will miss it. Names are being called. Destinies are being activated. And one of those names is yours. Listen now, and do not scroll away in the flesh. You were not wandering. You were summoned. Your soul recognized the call before your mind could form words around it. You were not distracted. You were drawn. The scroll of your life is unrolling before the courts of heaven even now. What felt like randomness was divine orchestration. You have been captured by heaven's timing. This message is not for many. This message is for the burning ones, the ones whose spirit trembles even as they read, who feel the shift in their chest, whose breath is caught between fear and wonder. Michael stands not as a messenger alone, but as a gatekeeper, a guardian of thresholds. His blade separates the unready from the chosen. This moment cannot be bargained with. It cannot be explained to others who do not carry your weight. This is your moment. This is your window. And within the next 2 minutes, a line will be drawn between those who entered and those who watched. The Spirit of the Lord says, "Step in now." This door leads to your elevation, your appointment, your next divine dimension. Heaven has opened it, but your obedience is the key. Not everyone will enter. Not everyone was called. But you are. Say it out loud. Let your soul testify to the heavens. Let the angelic scribes mark your agreement. Say it now, Michael. I am ready. Speak it with trembling. Speak it with urgency. Speak it with surrender. When heaven hears your yes, the door responds. It will not open through logic. It will not respond to delay. It reacts only to the obedience of the anointed. The fire of this moment is real. The wind is blowing from the throne. Michael guards what God has assigned, and no adversary will break through unless you forfeit your access through unbelief. But as long as you believe, as long as you say yes, as long as you step forward in spirit, heaven will move with you. The veil is thin. The air is heavy. The door is open. This moment is sacred. The sword is drawn, and you have been summoned. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if this message speaks to you. Lesson code 777 is igniting divine access over your life now. You have felt it, haven't you? That restlessness in your spirit, the late night awakenings, the unease in your chest when everyone else is calm, the whispers in your thoughts when you try to pray, but can't find the words. That was the movement. That was the mystery. For weeks, for months, perhaps for years, something has been shifting deep within you, and no one around you could explain it. They looked at your silence and assumed stagnation. They watched your pause and mistook it for fear. But the heavens knew. Heaven was not punishing you. Heaven was preparing you. You have been in divine incubation. Hidden. Quiet. Misunderstood. And yet you stayed faithful. You stayed surrendered. You let the world misunderstand you while God was writing something sacred over your life. There were moments when even you doubted your own discernment. You thought, why am I feeling this? Why does it feel like something is waiting, watching, pressing, and yet still delayed? You felt the pressure of purpose without clarity. You felt the oil without the assignment. But here, right here, is where the mystery becomes movement. You were never off course. You were never behind. What looked like delay with divine disguise. The door that has now opened with your name on it was sealed not by the enemy, but by the timing of heaven. It could not open a second sooner. Not because you weren't ready, but because everything else had to align. The betrayal had to happen. The silence had to teach you. The confusion had to chisel you. And the watchers, they had to witness it. Yes, the watchers. The ones who stood close enough to see you, but never discerned you. The ones who assumed the absence of noise meant the absence of anointing. They will be silenced now, not by your words, but by your rise. They will not understand how or why, but they will see it. Because heaven does not elevate in secret what was prepared in the fire. The opening of this door is not just opportunity, it is vindication. You were never overlooked by heaven. You were reserved, set apart. And now, as the clock ticks in the realm of spirit, the decision falls into your hands. Not the decision to strive, but the decision to step. One step of obedience. One step into mystery. One step into the fulfillment of every hidden ache you've carried in your belly like prophecy. This is your moment. This is your breath. 2 minutes is not much, but it's all God needs to rewrite a lifetime. And now, heaven watches your next move. Angels record. Time listens. The door is wide. The name upon it is yours. And the only sound louder than your hesitation is the silence waiting to be broken by your yes. Type "I am walking through" in the comments if your spirit receives this. Blessing code 1818 is unlocking mysteries long hidden. If this message pierced your spirit, then you already know this isn't entertainment. This is divine appointment. When you support this message through a YouTube super thanks, channel membership, or donation via the PayPal link below, you're sowing into souls, not screens. You're helping someone else find their door, hear their name, and say yes to heaven. The Word of God says, "He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed," and this is your moment to turn inspiration into impact. I feel the urgency. If this message touched your heart, this is the time to respond. Your gift becomes oil in someone else's wilderness. Your seed becomes their sign. When you give, you're not giving to a channel, you're giving to the kingdom. And heaven sees it. Heaven marks it. Release your support now, and watch God breathe on your obedience. The given options are in the description. Don't delay. This is sacred ground. The warfare you've endured was not random. The delays you faced were not accidental. The chaos that swirled around you in recent seasons had a target, and it was your door. The enemy did not attack your relationships, your mind, your finances, or your peace without reason. Every strike, every setback, every sleepless night was aimed at one thing: stopping you from getting to this threshold. Because hell saw the door long before you did. There was something in you, planted, purposed, and prophesied, that scared the darkness. You've been under pressure, not because you were weak, but because you were anointed. You've been misunderstood, not because you were confusing, but because you carried revelation that others couldn't comprehend. You've been delayed, not because heaven forgot you, but because the gates of hell were panicking about what would happen once you stepped into divine alignment. This door did not just appear. It was scheduled in the Spirit. Heaven has always known the time, the place, and the weight you would carry when it opened. But before a door is opened in heaven, a battle is waged in the Spirit. That's why the past season didn't make sense. That's why every time you got close to breakthrough, something shattered. That's why right when you thought you'd found your rhythm, life unraveled. The Pehuan punishment that was preparation. Every chaotic moment was a divine test, meant to burn away the parts of you that couldn't carry what's on the other side. Some of you wondered, why has it been this hard? Because you were chosen. Because your yes was dangerous. because the impact of your obedience would reach farther than your eyes could see. And because this door, this moment, this unlocking, would shake the assignments of hell and root out generations after you. Your pain wasn't just about you. It was about your lineage. It was about your mantle. It was about the power that would be released once you walked through. Archangel Michael did not draw his sword without reason. He has been fighting behind the veil, warring on your behalf, shielding you from demonic traps you never saw, contending with spirits that tried to abort your promise. The enemy tried to sabotage your identity through weariness. He whispered lies to make you question whether you heard God at all. But heaven did not change its mind. The door still opened, and it opened with your name on it. You were attacked because you are a sign. You were resisted because you are rising. Every wound became a weapon. Every tear watered the soil of this moment. And now, the atmosphere has shifted. The shaking was your signal. The stillness now is your sign. The battle was real, but so is the breakthrough. You have come through the fire, and the fire has refined you. So now, hear this in your spirit. Heaven opens doors not when it is easy, but when your faith is mature enough to walk through them, and your faith has reached its fullness. The door has opened because you passed through the testing. Now all that remains is your response. Michael stands ready. The angels are watching, and your next step determines your next season. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if this speaks to your war. Blessing code 2121 now surrounds your victory. Hear this now in the deepest part of your spirit. The window is not wide, and the window is not slow. Heaven operates on divine intervals, and one of those intervals is upon you now. The door has opened, but it will not remain. This is not an open season. It is an open moment, and that moment is measured in divine precision. Heaven's doors are timed by obedience, not convenience. This is not a season for indecision. This is a command to act. The pressure you feel is spiritual. It is the buildup of destiny's energy, swelling behind the veil, waiting to explode into manifestation. You are standing at the brink of a breakthrough that has been forming in the chambers of heaven for years, maybe decades. What was written about you before you had breath is now standing in front of you in the form of this open door. But just because it is open does not mean you will walk through it. Access requires agreement. Movement requires response. Heaven is not waiting for you to feel ready. Heaven is responding to your faith. You have 2 minutes. Not to think, not to delay, but to declare. A step. To cross the invisible line between prophecy and possession. This door will not force itself upon you. It honors free will. And yet, the spiritual realm is not neutral in this moment. Even now, yes, even now, opposition is rising. Distraction is being stirred. Spirits of confusion, procrastination, and fatigue are being loosed in the atmosphere to pull you back into hesitation. They know that if you don't move now, they can delay your destiny another cycle. But here is the truth. You cannot afford to miss this window. This is not about another encouraging message. This is not about inspiration. This is about spiritual alignment, a once-marked portal of access ordained before time. It's not only about what opens to you, it's about what will close behind you if you do not move, if you do not respond, if you do not say yes when heaven says now. There is something on the other side of this door that no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no heart has imagined, but it has been prepared for you. And that something is moving, that something is shifting, that something is standing just beyond your hesitation, waiting on your obedience. It will not wait forever. This is not a scare tactic. It is prophetic reality. When heaven sets a window, hell sets a trap. And if you don't move forward, the trap will feel like comfort. The distraction will feel like logic. But logic has never opened a door in heaven. Only obedience has. The atmosphere is electric. Time is trembling. And Archangel Michael stands at the threshold, not pleading but commanding. Move now. This is your 2-minute warning. Not a metaphor. A mandate. The countdown has begun. And what you do in the next breath will either align you with acceleration or anchor you in delay. Move now. Obedience is your entry code. Type "I will not miss my door" in the comments if this message pierces you. Lesson code 3030 is breaking delay off your destiny. Be still now. The world may roar, your thoughts may race, but the Spirit says, be still. Not because stillness is easy, but because it is the only posture that allows you to hear the sound of your name being called through heaven's corridors. The silence you feel is not emptiness. It is sacred. It is the sound of a divine identification process. Heaven is locating the one who will say yes in the secret place. Stillness is not a delay tactic. It is your entry code. You don't fight your way through this door. You yield your way through. There are some doors you force, but this is not one of them. This is not a door you kick open. This is a door that recognizes surrender. The more you yield, the more heaven moves. The more you quiet yourself, the louder your spirit speaks. The door responds not to striving but to alignment, the alignment of your will to the will of God. Michael stands not only as a warrior, but as a witness to your alignment. He does not defend the rebellious, but he fiercely protects the obedient. His sword does not move at random. It cuts through the noise, the doubt, the spiritual interference that clouds your clarity. It is not your job to force your way forward. It is heaven's job to clear the path when you stand in position. And position requires obedience, not perfection. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know every step. You only have to move with the next instruction and trust that what you cannot see is already under divine surveillance. Heaven is not asking you to rush. It is asking you to recognize. There is a difference. Recognition requires attention. It demands spiritual listening. This is why the call to stillness is so critical right now. Not every voice around you is for you. Not every sound is sacred. In this hour, the obedient must learn the sound of heaven's silence, for even heaven's silence is filled with guidance for the ones who know how to listen beyond the noise. You are not walking through this door alone. The angelic host has already begun to align. There are forces being dispatched, not because you are in trouble, but because you are about to transition. Divine movement demands divine escort. The path ahead of you is not only protected, it is anointed. You are not merely advancing, you are being covered as you move. Michael's sword is not only drawn, it is active. It is slicing through barriers that were erected to make you believe you were still bound. But you are not. The door has opened, and the way is clear for the obedient. Declare it aloud if your spirit agrees. I am seen. I am called. I am covered. Let the heavens mark that declaration in your record. There is a divine perimeter around your obedience. Nothing formed against you will prosper, not because you are stronger, but because you are shielded. When you don't move in fear, heaven moves for you. The timing is divine. The covering is secure. And the pathway is waiting. So step forward, not in panic, but in peace. Because when you move in obedience, you are never alone. You are always under the shadow of divine wings. Michael's sword gleams. The hosts stand ready, and your next step is fully covered by the one who opened the door in the first place. Type "I am covered by heaven" in the comments if your spirit receives this. Blessing code 4411 is now surrounding your pathway. You are no longer who you were when the door opened. Something has shifted. Something ancient and holy has awakened in you. The fear that once gripped you is cracking. The confusion that held your steps hostage is lifting. And the weight of false identity is falling like chains from your spirit. You are rising now, not just in vision, not just in prayer, but in power. This is not simply a message. It is a mantle being placed on you as you step forward. The door is not only open to access, it has opened to activate. And what is being activated is not something new. It is something eternal that was hidden in you all along. Your wings have been waiting for permission to unfold. And heaven has just shouted yes over your life. Your light hath been waiting for space to expand. And now the atmosphere is bowing to your assignment. You were not called to beg. You were not born to hide. You were sent to reign, to walk with the authority of one who carries divine fire in their bones. What was dormant is now alive. What was bruised is now burning. You are not stepping through as a victim. You are stepping through as a vessel of heaven. The atmosphere around you is responding to the shift in you. The wind of the Spirit is no longer blowing against you. He is blowing through you. It is pushing you forward with prophetic velocity. The resistance has turned into propulsion. You were pressed but not crushed. You were shaken but not broken. What you thought was breaking you was actually building you into a carrier of the kingdom. You are not simply walking through the door. You are becoming the door for others. Your breakthrough will become someone else's access. Your fire will ignite someone else's faith. This is the hour of becoming, the hour of emergence, the hour of power. You've been processed through pressure, and now the oil of heaven flows from your scars. The flame that once flickered is now a firestorm. You are no longer bound by the limitations that once named you. The labels have burned off. The fear has dissolved in the presence of revelation. You are not who they said you were. You are not even who you used to believe you were. You are who God always knew you would become. You've been refined like gold in the furnace. And now heaven places a crown of assignment on your head, not for pride, but for purpose. You have permission to rise. You have permission to move. You have permission to speak with authority, to act with clarity, to walk with dominion. The realm of heaven recognizes you. The angelic hosts know your voice. Your obedience has made you recognizable in the spirit realm. Hell fears your movement. Heaven fuels your steps. You are no longer approaching the door. You are becoming what the door leads to. Say it aloud now, and let it be written in your heavenly scroll. I was not just called. I am becoming. Let it echo in your bones. Let it shake off every last remnant of doubt. For you are rising like a flame in motion, a divine weapon dressed in obedience and anointed with clarity. You are heaven's response to the warfare you survived. You are no longer waiting. You are becoming. Type "I am becoming" fire in the comments if you receive this. Blessing code 8888 is awakening your spiritual authority. The door is not just opened for your breakthrough. It has opened to reveal why. Every question, every delay, every storm, heaven now declares, it was not punishment. It was preparation. The mystery is becoming movement. The silence is becoming sound. What you thought was loss was actually alignment. The trials didn't break you. They built the pathway beneath your feet. And now, with this door open and heaven watching, the true purpose of your pain, your patience, and your praise is being revealed. This is not just your moment. This is the moment heaven has waited for. The courts of glory recorded your yes long before you ever knew what it would cost. And now, as that yes rises from your spirit again, the very atmosphere around you begins to testify. The angels have heard your cries in the night. They've witnessed your surrender in secret. And now, at heaven's appointed time, your name has been spoken, not whispered, but declared in the inner chambers of the Most High. This door leads to more than breakthrough. It leads to commissioning. You are not being rescued. You are being released. Released into influence. Released into restoration. Released into divine responsibility. And with that responsibility comes the blessing that was stored up for the right time. Not denied. Not forgotten. Simply reserved. Heaven never wastes blessing on an unready vessel. But you, yes you, have been tried, purified, and identified as one who can carry the weight of the next glory. This door leads to your next level of assignment. It is not random. It is revelatory. It reveals not just what is ahead, but what has always been within you. It reveals why you were rejected. It reveals why the warfare was so personal. It reveals why you were hidden while others were promoted. Because what God placed in you required deeper refinement. And now, you are ready. Heaven did not forget your faithfulness. The scroll hath been opened. The court has ruled in your favor. The time is now. The delay was never denial. It was divine calibration. And the Lord says, this is your unlocking. This is your unveiling. This is your time. Your name has passed through the fire, and now it stands engraved on a door that can no longer be sealed. This is prophecy fulfilled. This is glory unveiled. This is the moment where everything you carried but could not explain finally makes sense. You've walked with promises you couldn't see, carried mantles you couldn't name, and held faith when there was no evidence. But now the evidence has arrived. Not as a whisper, but as a door. Walk through it. Step into the revelation. Let the clarity of heaven flood every question with holy purpose. You are not on the outside anymore. You are at the threshold. And heaven remembers your yes. Type my name is written in the comments if this message confirms your season. Blessing code 5555 has now activated divine revelation. If this message pierced your spirit, it's because you carry what others are still praying to find. When you give, through a YouTube super thanks, channel membership, or through the PayPal link in the description, you're not supporting a platform. You're sowing into divine momentum. Every offering becomes a light, a ripple in the realm of spirit that reaches someone else's dark room and says, "You're not forgotten." The Lord said, "The generous soul shall be made rich," and this is not just finance, it's fulfillment. When you give here, you're joining heaven in reaching the next one whose door is about to open. Your seed becomes someone's confirmation. Your yes becomes someone's release. This is more than donation. This is intercession through action. Let your giving echo your agreement. Heaven sees. Heaven multiplies. Move now and be part of the flame that fuels another's breakthrough. Now comes the moment of release. Not poetic and not symbolic, but prophetic. The time of listening is passing. The time of hesitation has expired. This is not the hour to simply feel. It is the hour to declare. It is the hour to move. It is the hour where the open door becomes more than a promise. It becomes a path. Not everyone who sees the door will walk through it. Not everyone who felt the calling will activate the assignment. But you are not everyone. Heaven is watching. The angels are listening. And the realm of spirit awaits one thing: your voice. Speak now. Not softly, not tentatively, but boldly. Declare it so that every force of opposition hears it. Let every principality that tried to stop you tremble under the weight of your obedience. Let every delay, every detour, every distraction know that you have not just survived, you are stepping in. Say it aloud. I walk through now. Don't say it with your lips only. Say it with your life. Let your decisions shout it. Let your posture preach it. Let your atmosphere shift because of it. Every step you take in alignment becomes a declaration in the spirit. The veil is thin. The wind is strong. And heaven is responding to movement. There are moments in time that do not repeat. This is one of them. What you do now, this day, this hour, this breath, determines how long you will wait to see this opening again, if ever. Hesitation forfeits inheritance. Delay breeds doubt. But activation unlocks acceleration. You are not being called to understand. You are being called to agree. You are not being asked to figure it out. You are being summoned to step out. This is what faith looks like. It looks like obedience with no visible guarantee. It looks like movement without all the pieces in place. It looks like a declaration that heaven will build the bridge where the earth shows no road. So rise now. Let your spirit stand at attention. Heaven is not just opening the door for you. Heaven is commanding you to become the door for generations. Your yes is not just for your own breakthrough. It is unlocking bloodlines. It is redeeming time. It is healing timelines that were broken before you were born. You are not walking alone. You are walking with the weight of answered prayers, prophetic words, and unshakable grace surrounding you. Say it again, this time with power. I walk through now. Make the realm of spirit reverberate. Let the hosts of heaven write it into your scroll. Let the winds of the spirit carry your voice like a trumpet across every obstacle. Because the moment you declare it, something activates. Something that was once asleep in you begins to roar. The fire becomes movement. The vision becomes action. The waiting becomes walking. Repeat it. Declare it. Align with it. Move. Declare. Tap. Align. These are not suggestions. These are spiritual commands. The destiny written over your life has waited long enough. The door is open. Your name is engraved. And heaven is holding its breath to see what you will do with this moment. Type "I walk through now" in the comments if your destiny has been activated. Blessing code 6464 is unlocking divine movement beneath your feet. There is a moment, so sacred, so still, where the natural world cannot interpret what is happening, but the spirit realm knows exactly what's taking place. That moment is now. In the quiet of your decision, in the invisible weight of your surrender, a transaction is occurring. The angels are not clapping. The skies are not shaking. But in the courts of heaven, a decree is being written. While you breathe in faith, heaven is writing in your name. While you agree with the will of God, the archive of eternity is being adjusted. This is not emotional. This is judicial. This is legal in the spirit realm. A silent exchange is happening. Your obedience for access, your surrender for strategy, your yes for divine inheritance. You may not feel it. You may not see it. But the moment you aligned, heaven recorded it. Heaven is not moved by noise. It is moved by covenant. And right now, your covenant is being renewed, revived, and recorded again. What you just did in faith has altered your position in the heavenly realms. The tears you cried in silence, the prayers that no one knew you prayed, the warfare you endured alone, all of it has now become testimony. Your tears were never wasted. They were liquid intercession, poured out like oil onto the altar of obedience. And now, in the realm you cannot see, they are being measured, weighed, and transformed into evidence. Evidence that proves your readiness. Evidence that qualifies your name to be written on the open door. Even now, angels move with scrolls in hand. They are reassigning mantles that once slipped through bloodlines, but now fall upon your shoulders. Spiritual inheritance that was withheld in other generations is being released through you. Why? Because you did what others would not do. You said yes when it cost you comfort. You obeyed in the dark. You listened when others laughed. And heaven has determined that your lineage will shift because of your obedience in this unseen moment. There are trades taking place in the spirit. Trades of delay for momentum. Trades of confusion for clarity. Trades of rejection for divine recognition. And all of it is happening silently, invisibly, but undeniably. You step forward, and heaven stepped closer. This is the beauty of obedience. It does not need an audience. It only needs an altar. And the altar you built in your spirit with your yes is now burning before the throne of God. Hear this clearly. Nothing was lost. Everything is being returned. Every opportunity, every missed moment, every closed door that made you weep is now being reassigned. What you thought was taken is coming back, not in the same form, but in higher dimension. Restitution is not restoration alone. It is restoration with increase. And that is what is unfolding around you now. This is the silent exchange. This is the moment where heaven writes the future in your favor. Where the Spirit marks you again as trustworthy. Where your name is sealed not in ink, but in glory. The ones who mock will not understand it. The ones who doubt it will not recognize it. But the ones who walk in the Spirit, they will see the difference in you. Because your yes changed everything. Type heaven is writing my name in the comments if you feel this holy exchange. Blessing code 7272 is releasing divine recovery into your life. The door you've stepped toward is not only a place of promise, it is a courtroom of justice. And heaven has ruled. The records have been reviewed. The evidence has been weighed. And now the Judge of Glory has spoken. Justice shall be served in the life of the one who did not faint. This is the season where the same hands that closed doors in your face will witness them open without permission. What was withheld will be released. What was broken will be rebuilt. And what was stolen, yes, even that, will be returned multiplied. You were never forgotten. You were preserved for this divine reversal. It did not come when you expected it, but it arrives exactly on time. Not your time. God's time. The years that were devoured by confusion, by betrayal, by warfare, by delay, are not gone. They were stored. And heaven says, I will restore to you the years the locusts have eaten. This is not a verse to quote. This is a verdict being carried out in your favor. It is unfolding now. There is a shifting in the unseen. The divine gavel has struck. And everything that was done in darkness, every slander, every sabotage, every silent rejection, is now being exposed to the light of divine justice. God is not only elevating you, He is vindicating you. The mocking voices are being silenced, not by your clapbacks, but by your consecration. Your fruit is about to speak louder than their opinions ever could. And those who once thought you were disqualified will watch as heaven qualifies you in public, not to shame them, but to show them that grace does not bow to human verdicts. Heaven doesn't need permission to bless you. God does not consult the crowd before he releases favor. And now, the reversal begins. The first shall be last, and the last shall be brought forward. You are that one. You were counted out. You were overlooked. But now you are being revealed. Do not be surprised when tables turn. Do not be shocked when the people who once dismiss you reach out in confusion, asking how it happened. And do not waste your oil trying to explain what only obedience can unlock. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to walk in God's reward. The divine scales are shifting. They are no longer tilted against you. They are being balanced in your favor. This is spiritual justice. This is divine recompense. This is heaven's way of saying, I saw what they did. I heard what they said. And I have not forgotten who remained faithful. What was meant to break you is now birthing blessings. What was spoken to wound you is now fueling your rise. The very weapons formed against you are becoming stepping stones. And every stone they threw, God is using it to build the foundation beneath your feet. Say this with clarity in your spirit. The time of hiding is over. You are not being concealed anymore. You are being commissioned. Your reward is not future, it is now. The honor is not imagined, it is real. And the justice of heaven is not coming, it is already at work. The heavens have ruled in your favor, and the reversal has begun. Type the scales are shifting in the comments if divine justice belongs to you. Blessing code 1919 is now reversing every injustice in your life. Now it is done. The door did not open by accident. It did not swing wide because of effort, emotion, or intellect. It opened because heaven trusts you now. Trust your heart. Trust your yes. Trust your maturity. This door was sealed until your faith reached a frequency that matched the sound of heaven's timing. And now, because you aligned, because you surrendered, because you said yes when no one was looking, the heavens stood still and responded. The Spirit of the Lord says, well done. You have waited well. You have wept faithfully. And now, you will walk boldly. This is not a fleeting moment. It is a marked shift. Something eternal has changed around you. Angels have been assigned. Gates have been opened. Scrolls have been adjusted. And the atmosphere now recognizes you. What once resisted you will now make way for you. What once seemed impossible will now yield under your feet like parted waters. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are not small. You are sealed. Sealed in purpose. Sealed in power. Sealed in prophecy. You are seen. Heaven has documented every silent sacrifice, every whispered prayer, every midnight wrestle, every private breakthrough. And heaven now answers with reward. Your feet are being ordered. Your heart is being steadied. Your vision is being sharpened. And your yes is now echoing in eternity. Nothing can close what heaven has opened. No delay can outrun what God has accelerated. No weapon formed can stand against the force of divine fulfillment. So now, walk through. Walk through with the authority of the one who was chosen. Walk through with the boldness of one who carries heaven within. Walk through with the calm confidence of one whose name is known in both heaven and hell. The season of hesitation is over. The hour of waiting has lifted. The shift is complete. And the time of hiding has turned into the time of holy revealing. Walk through. Because the heavens stand open with your name on them. This is your moment. This is your mantle. This is your door. And it will not close until you step in. Type I have walked through in the comments if you know this word sealed your spirit. Blessing code 9999 is now resting over your new season. If this final word stirred something deep in your spirit, don't leave it here. Let your obedience continue through your giving. When you support this mission, through YouTube Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you help us send more of heaven's voice into places where silence has ruled too long. You help someone else find their moment, their name, their door. The Lord declares in Proverbs 11:25, "Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed." Your gift is not just money, it is oil. It is fuel for the fire that sets captives free. It is a divine partnership that allows this message to reach those hanging on by a thread. So where the Spirit spoke, release what heaven placed in your hand. Let your giving become the trumpet that opens someone else's door. Heaven sees it. Heaven multiplies it. Heaven marks it. Do it now, and let your support become a legacy of light.